there's a lot going on. We're starting with President Trump, now on the way to South Korea, and what could be an historic meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
The president tweeted an invitation to meet Kim Jong-un at the DMZ for a handshake, or maybe more. But he says he would now consider, think about this, he would consider stepping across the border into North Korea. That's something no other president has ever done.
Now, there's a lot more coming out of this hour, 14-minute news conference from the president. President Trump said trade talks are back on with China, with new tariffs on hold. Now, he pushed back on the idea that he was joking about election meddling with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And he said the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi made him angry, while defending his relationship with the man the CIA says ordered that murder.
Yesterday, former President Jimmy Carter suggested that your presidency is illegitimate and that you only got the White House with help from Russia. Your reaction to that, sir?
Russia. Isn't it crazy? Okay, Jimmy Carter, look, he was a nice man. He was a terrible president. He's a Democrat, and it's a typical talking point. He's loyal to the Democrats, and I guess you should be. But as everybody now understands, I won not because of Russia, not because of anybody but myself. I went out, I campaigned better, smarter, harder than Hillary Clinton. I went to Wisconsin. I went to Michigan the night of the vote. I had 32,000 people at 1 o'clock in the morning on election day. I won Michigan, I won Wisconsin, I won Pennsylvania, I won states that traditionally haven't been won by a Republican, for many years haven't been won by a Republican. And this had nothing to do with anybody but the fact that I worked harder and much smarter than Hillary Clinton did.
I think what he's doing is he's making a massive strategic error, very similar to that was made by Theresa May, in that he's going to arrive in a situation which is incredibly difficult to get out of. And he's going to arrive there having made a whole load of contradictory promises to people that he won't be able to keep. You know, he was always going to win this leadership race, and yet he's still taken meeting after meeting after meeting with groups of people from different parts of the argument over Brexit, and he's told them what they want to hear. So the moderate people were coming out going, oh, he's told us, don't worry, we're not going to go out without a deal. And then the hardliners were coming out going, he's told us we're going to leave on October 31st no matter what. He's been, let's just say, economical with the truth when it comes to laying out what he wants to do.
We had a great meeting, and we will be continuing to negotiate. And I promise that for at least the time being, we're not going to be lifting tariffs on China. We won't be adding an additional, tremendous amount of, we have, I guess, $350 billion left, which could be taxed or could be tariffed. And we're not doing that. We're going to work with China on where we left off to see if we can make a deal. China's going to start, they're going to be consulting with us, and they're going to start spending money even during the negotiation to our farmers, our great farmers in the Midwest.
Has turned into a nightmare for some customers as well as the staff at Dion Wired. We understand that there was an armed robbery incident that left one security guard who was responding to that incident dead. But we are joined by Captain Masondo from the South African Police Services, who's just going to take us through some of those details as to what exactly happened here as far as the South African Police Services understands.
As the police, we have launched a manhunt for a gang of suspects after a business robbery and murder was committed here at Woodmead Retail Park. It is alleged that 7 to 10 suspects who were armed with rifle and pistols. They entered here at the Dion Wired shop, pretending to be customers. They then robbed the shop and undisclosed number of cell phones. They also robbed the customers and the staff that were inside their cell phones, their wallets, and their watches.
For being here today. It's with heavy heart that I address you today. After an exhaustive week of investigation, we are filing charges of aggravated murder, aggravated kidnapping, obstruction of justice, and desecration of a body in the homicide of Mackenzie Lueck. The man charged with these horrific and tragic crimes is the person of interest. Ayola Adese Achaya. I will not be saying the killer's name again.
Police say a 3-year-old boy was found dead after trapping himself in a minivan in Morristown, Tennessee. At least 15 hot car deaths now reported in the U.S. this year. Here's ABC's Marcus Moore.
This frantic scene unfolding outside an Oklahoma liquor store. Police trying to open a car's doors. A 14-month-old child left inside Wednesday. As 2 women walk toward the car.
Is this your car?
Yes, sir.
Open it up right now. Turn around and put your hands behind your back. What the hell were you thinking?
A second officer removing the child. Police say he was wearing only a wet diaper, clammy to touch, and had bright red skin.
Is that your child? Then you come here. Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
The child's mother arrested. In 2018, 52 children died in hot cars across the country. And already this year, more than a dozen have lost their lives, including an 18-month-old in Galveston, Texas, one of 3 deaths in 3 days in the state.
In Flint, justice is long awaited and elusive. After thousands of the city's residents were poisoned with lead-tainted tap water, some dying and others with long illnesses, the government officials accused of knowing about the danger but saying nothing have paid little for their mistake. Key to the criminal case is the decision of government workers to begin piping water from the Flint River into people's homes. It was cheaper than the old water source, but due to insufficient water treatment, it leached lead into the drinking water. Prosecutors argue that certain officials should have known better. The incoming prosecutors say they'll likely file new charges, possibly more serious ones than those dismissed. The time is running out. Only 9 months remain before the statute of limitation kicks in.
A team of scientists on Prince Edward Island is carrying out a difficult task today. They're examining the body of an Atlantic right whale, trying to figure out how it died. Already, 6 of the endangered species have been found dead this month in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Brian Higgins reports.
Just getting the whale on shore was a job in itself. It took an hour, a backhoe, and a big strong rope that broke twice. Already a crowd of curious onlookers had gathered. Everybody's heard about these endangered right whales turning up dead in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Only 412 right whales remain alive worldwide. 6 have turned up dead in the Gulf of St. Lawrence in recent weeks. That's a discouraging setback after Ottawa brought in speed limits on ships and fishing restrictions in the Gulf last year.